Today, I'm reviewing the most popular and recently introduced model in the G-Shock lineup. That's not even the best part of this video. The best part is this specific watch is the most affordable option out of the series, and the price of this watch will surely blow your mind. If you want to know the series, a little hint. It starts with M and ends with R. The watch I'm reviewing right now is not a DW5600 or a GA-2100. It's part of the Master of G collection. If you're familiar with it, two names will pop out to your mind. One is the Mudman and the other is the Mudmaster. Basically, any G-Shock watch you take is the absolute tough watch you can actually wear in almost any condition. But why was there a need to actually make a Mudman or a Mudmaster? The Mudman's history goes back to 1985, where they released the first watch, which was the DW-5500 in 1985. So this watch was a mud-resistant watch, but was not claimed by Casio, but it was put in the Europe and US as mud-resistant. People started to love this watch more than any other G-Shock, so they made a lot of models with the Mudman series. And then Casio had a thought, why don't we make a more tougher watch based on the Mudman, taking the features of the Mudman and improving it and making a more durable and absolutely tank-like build quality for watch. And then they introduced the Mudmaster in 2015. The Mudmaster GG-1000 was the first ever watch released, which was relatively new. It had all the features of the Mudman and a traditional G-Shock like alarm and world time and all that. What it had more was multiband 6, Bluetooth, 3 sensors like the altimeter, barometer and thermometer, which a Protrek had. It had a carbon core guard along with enforced steel buttons, which you can use in any condition with or without a glove. So that made the Mudmaster quite unique when it came to professional. The watch we're talking about today is the more affordable Mudmaster in the market right now. So let's start with the specifications of this watch. The Mudmaster GG-1000 is an absolute beast from Casio. It has a case size of 56.2mm, a width of 55.3mm and a height of 17.3mm. So it's basically a tank. It's huge and tough as well. It weighs 94 grams. It has a case material of resin and stainless steel, which I'll talk in detail about in another section. It has a resin band, 200 meters of water resistance, mud resistance and shock resistance, which is the unique feature about this watch. It has a battery life of approximately 2 years. It has two sensors, which is a thermometer and a compass, and also features a mineral glass to its display. It has the usual functions of a Casio like the world time, stopwatch, alarm and a super illuminator LED backlight as well. If you like the video so far, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I am planning a giveaway for reaching 5,000 subscribers, which you'll see as a separate video on Friday mentioning what you have to do to enter the giveaway. And thanks to Ratsan Watch Company for sponsoring this video. More on them in the description. If I have to rate build quality and design of this watch, I would give a 7 for the design and 10 for the build quality. And there's a reason behind it as well. So let's start with the design. The design is familiar to all the Mudmasters we've seen earlier. This watch is no different. When you compare a traditional G-Shock, it might be different, but in a Mudmaster it is not. So you have the G-Shock logo at the 12 o'clock position, and the watch has two digital displays which do two different things. The main display, which shows you the time, seconds, and a second counter 0 to 60 as well. And the smaller display shows you the day or date in the timekeeping mode. If you go to a specific function like an alarm, it shows you the alarm you have, or if you take a compass, it shows you the degree at which you are. So that is more of a display which is tactical. You have a wheel at the 5 o'clock position, which is basically the mode wheel we have seen in earlier G-Shocks, but in the Mudmaster it's more tough. Looks like a truck wheel or a tank wheel if I'm not wrong. You have this aesthetic of mud resistance in this watch. When you toggle between each mode, it changes. Buttons of this watch resemble steel plates. So that is a very good touch in this watch, which is more leaning to the build quality more than the design. Design has more steel components in this watch when it comes to the buttons and the screws, but the case is made up of resin, which is predominantly resin. The back is stainless steel and the buttons are stainless steel. So when you talk about the build quality, which I gave a 10 to, it's actually really great. The amount of detail in the buttons as well as the strap and the weight the watch has, when you hold the watch in your hand, it feels like like a beast or a tank, to be precise. It's so well made, so it feels so premium. The strap has this tire-like design to it, but it is made of resin. It has the mud resist written as well as 200-meter water resistance with world time on one side, and on the other side you have twin sensor written. The design looks like as if a truck has gone over the strap. It feels very solid even though it's a resin strap, and you have a G-Shock logo on the strap buckle, which I have not seen in any G-Shocks recently, but this one adds more weight to it. This watch has Lumi Bright as well as Super Illuminator. When it's combined together, it really packs a punch. When you're basically seeing the Lumi Bright, the hour, minute and seconds are loomed, which is more important when it comes to this watch. A few of the indices like the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock are loomed, and a few other hour striations are loomed. But the Super Illuminator shows you the analog time but not really the digital time. If you're a person who's reliant on the digital time, it doesn't show it to you properly, but the analog time you can actually see it very clearly. Even though this watch is an entry-level Mudmaster, it is priced a little steeper, equivalent to a mid-tier watch in Casio. It is priced at $19,995, but if I have to focus on the build quality, I would say this price is sufficient. But if you're talking about the features, it has a few limitations which I'll have to discuss next. Yes, this watch isn't perfect. If you're looking at a price point of $19,995, what I would think is the watch should have sapphire crystal display, it should have tough solar, and it should have not multiband 6 but at least Bluetooth connectivity or a carbon core enforced guard. But this watch doesn't have any of them, which is a bummer. If you take a normal GAB-2100, you get tough solar, Bluetooth connectivity and carbon core guard. Where in this watch, you might not have a carbon core guard, but still you have protection against mud and shock resistance. It is not the same. It could have made the watch even more lighter, but Casio didn't opt for that in this watch. I would have been much happier at least if it had tough solar, but it doesn't have any of the three, which is quite frustrating when it comes to the price point of $19,995. Before I answer that question, I'll have to make a few things clear. First, for the loyal Casio fans out there, if you're spending $19,995 on a watch and you're getting a Mudmaster for that price, you would want that watch to have at least tough solar or to the max Bluetooth connectivity. But this watch doesn't have both of them. So if you're a true Casio enthusiast and feel like this watch doesn't have what it should have, then this watch is not for you. But if you're a person who feels like I want a Mudmaster, but I don't want to spend $50,000 or $70,000 on it, I would like to spend close to $20,000, but I don't mind if it doesn't have all the high-tech features, but I would like a simple watch which runs on battery. This watch is perfect for you. But I have a sad news for slim wrist people. This watch is really huge and heavy, so it might not suit your hand if you have a wrist size of less than 6.5 inches. This is what you need to consider before buying this watch. But if you get it at a discount of maybe 20% or 15%, I think it's not a bad choice. So these were my honest thoughts on the Casio Mudmaster GG-1000. And some people are asking me why there is no link to buy these watches, as I don't have any affiliate link as such. So either I have to tell you to go to your nearest Casio store or buy it from the Casio India website. Some people are experiencing problems with the Casio India website, so I don't suggest them either. So it's either Swiss Time House, Casio India website, or your nearest Casio store, or Ratsan Watch Company if you live nearby. Like the video if you haven't already, and share this to your friends who love Casio Mudmasters so that they can buy one which is quite affordable. If you haven't seen my previous video about Seiko Alba, you can check it out here. Of the watch videos I've made so far over here. I'll see you on Friday with an exciting giveaway announcement. Until then, peace out.